Effective beliefs. Beliefs shape the power of the treatment as well as the seriousness of its side effects. Ecap's main goal is to foster the kind of autonomy and awareness in patients and their loved ones to achieve the peace of mind that enables them to deal with life's issues. In Ecap, we promote these changes in weekly 2-hour group meetings. Ecap is a nonprofit corporation. We charge a modest fee to defray costs, but anyone who cannot afford it is admitted free. No physician's referral is needed, and no one is ever turned away. The only admission requirements are that people do the drawings and fill out the admission form with the 4 questions and request for historical information. Each member begins by doing a drawing of himself, his disease, his white blood cells, and his treatment. We then discuss these drawings in at least one individual session before the patient joins one of the groups. In our group sessions, we discuss every aspect of our lives, treatment goals and options, nutrition, exercise, the psychological origins of disease, management of pain and fear, and techniques of stress reduction. We help patients set goals for their lives, find occasions for play and laughter, deal with sexual problems, and develop an emotional support system among friends and family. Like AA, we provide an instant family which is non-judgmental. In general, we discuss why we're alive and what we're here for. Each session closes with a period of meditation and guided imagery, and we help patients adapt these techniques for their daily use. The Ecap family is often more loving and supportive than the biological one. An oncologist once asked me, "Since you're not trained in psychotherapy, how do you know you won't do these patients harm?" I replied, "I love them. I may not help them, but I'm sure I won't hurt them." Ecap can be supplemented by further psychotherapy. We will now turn to the externals of the program, methods for changing what you do. We will later explore the internals, ways to change who you are. Please keep in mind that most of the discussion concerns cancer because as a surgeon, I see many cancer patients. However, I believe that the same practices improve the prospects in all diseases. And in Ecap, we have seen positive results with diabetes, scleroderma, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, neurologic disorders, obesity, asthma, AIDS, cancer. Good nutrition is an essential part of any treatment program, but I don't believe in prescribing a strict regimen for all patients. In general, I recommend the type of diet advocated by the late health researcher Nathan Pritikin, which is the type eaten in countries where people regularly live to be 100, or one based on the dietary guidelines prepared by the American Institute for Cancer Research and endorsed by the National Academy of Sciences. I don't force vegetarianism on patients. I think one's mental and spiritual outlook is more important to health than any particular diet, although vegetarians with cancer do have better survival statistics. Exercise. People who exercise regularly have fewer illnesses than sedentary persons. In the hospital, those who get up and walk as soon as possible are the ones who recover most quickly from surgery. Exercise, especially running, walking, swimming, and other repetitive types, offers a chance to meditate because we don't have to think about what we're doing. This will benefit anyone as long as the exercise doesn't become a way to run away from problems or an excuse to stay away from one's family. Exercise has been successfully used to treat depression, and for the same reasons, it is a potent weapon against physical afflictions. The type and amount can only be worked out on an individual basis. I recommend 1/2 hour to 1 hour daily or every other day according to what is comfortable for the individual. Just remember that a sick body demands a slower pace than a healthy one. Warning signals of pain or excessive fatigue must be heeded, but they're signs to ease up, not to stop entirely. The most important thing is that if exercise becomes work, it defeats its purpose. When you can't exercise, you can visualize yourself exercising, and this stimulates your body also. I utilize this technique on long drives. Play and laughter. Laughter makes the unbearable bearable, and a patient with a well-developed sense of humor has a better chance of recovery than a stolid individual who seldom laughs. There are sound scientific reasons why we call robust, unrestrained laughter hearty. It produces complete, relaxed action of the diaphragm exercising the lungs, increasing the blood's oxygen level, and gently toning the entire cardiovascular system. Norman Cousins termed it internal jogging, and others have likened it to a deep massage. All the muscles of the chest, abdomen, and face get a little workout, and if the joke is a real knee slapper, even the arms and legs reap the benefits. After the laughter, all the muscles are relaxed, including the heart, the pulse rate, and blood pressure temporarily decline. Physiologists have found that muscle relaxation and anxiety cannot exist together, and the relaxation response after a good laugh has been measured as lasting as long as 45 minutes. According to some scientific studies, laughter also increases the production of a class of brain chemicals called catecholamines. These include the compounds that, in some circumstances, stimulate the fight-or-flight response, which may inhibit healing. However, increased amounts of some of these compounds in the blood can also reduce inflammation by activating a different part of the immune system. In addition, they increase the production of endorphins, the body's natural opiates. It appears that these are two of the things that happen during laughter. Thus, humor may relieve pain directly by physiological means, as well as by diverting our attention and helping us to relax. Since nearly every hospital room has a TV set, I hope someday we have a healing channel that includes plenty of comedy, as well as music, meditation, and healing imagery. Psychologists have long noted that one of the best measures of mental health is the ability to laugh at oneself in a gently mocking way. Julie, a young lady who came to Ecap because of blindness resulting from diabetes, showed us all how laughter makes life better. Once, when out to dinner at a restaurant, her family and friends sat her down in a chair, and she, presuming the table was in front of her, inched her chair forward. She kept inching and ended up across the room. Everyone was silent, not knowing how to respond. Finally, she bumped into another table where the people asked, "Would you like to join us?" As soon as she realized what had happened, she started laughing, and the whole restaurant exploded in laughter. One day, Julie was walking with her boyfriend, who kept telling her, "Be careful, step down, step up." He was so concerned about her that he fell off the curb, so she handed him her cane and said, "Here, you need this more than I do." Julie has since regained her sight, truly a healing miracle, and no longer fears blindness. Her statement to me was, "Blindness taught me to see, and death taught me to live." She is now one of our co-therapists. Exercise, laughter, and play are closely related. All three need to be approached in much the same spirit. All three produce similar effects on body and mind. When someone draws his emotions as a little black box or a tight red circle, it's easy to see how restricted the expression of feeling can be. The same is true of positive feelings. As adults, many people must struggle to overcome a lifetime of conditioning and destructive messages such as, "Be brave," "Be perfect," "Hurry up," "Try harder," "Be strong," and "Please me." Consequently, many people have to work at playing. We must learn to give fun a high priority in life. Like all other positive change, this also develops from the essential first step, learning to love ourselves. Each of us must take the time to find humorous books or movies, play the games we enjoy, tell jokes to friends, doodle, or have fun with coloring books, whatever the choice is of the child inside you. Focusing the mind for healing. Among many psychological techniques applied to physical illness, the most widely used and successful has been the one called imaging or visualization. I will discuss relaxation, hypnosis, meditation, and visualization separately, but they are really all part of one process, as you'll understand when practicing them. Relaxation. By relaxation, I don't mean falling asleep in front of the TV set or unwinding with friends. The kind I'm talking about is a quieting of mental activity and withdrawal of body and mind from external stimulation. Inducing this state is the first step in hypnosis, biofeedback, yogic meditation, and most related forms of mind exploration. There are many methods of relaxation, nearly all of them quite similar. One method differs somewhat from most of the others. Dr. Ainsley Mears of Melbourne, Australia, believes that all verbal instructions, even in the beginning, tend to stimulate too much logical thought. He has reported several remarkable regressions of cancer using a nonverbal quieting method based on gentle touching and reassuring sounds by the therapist. He also believes that best results depend on a slight degree of discomfort to be overcome by the patient, such as that produced by sitting on a low stool or straight-back chair. Healing touch can certainly be significant when the patient has someone to administer it regularly, but other ways of inducing the relaxation response also achieve excellent results. Don't be discouraged if you find relaxation procedures hard at first. Relaxation and meditation are perhaps especially difficult for Americans. Our constant mental diet of advertising, noise, violence, and media stimulation makes it very difficult to endure even a few minutes of inactivity and quiet. We have created a wall around ourselves to block out this deluge. In the process, we also stop feeling, and the quiet can be threatening. It gives us time to think and feel again. Meditation. Someone once said, prayer is talking, meditation is listening. Actually, it's a method by which we can temporarily stop listening to the pressures and distractions of everyday life and thereby are able to acknowledge other things, our deeper thoughts and feelings, the products of our unconscious mind, the peace of pure consciousness and spiritual awareness. To call it listening makes it sound entirely passive, but meditation is also an active process, although not in the usual sense. It is a way of focusing the mind in a state of relaxed awareness that, although less responsive to distractions, is more focused than usual toward things we want to pay attention to. There are many ways of doing this. Some teachers recommend focusing your attention on a symbolic sound or word, a mantra, or on a single image, such as a candle flame or a mandala. Others focus on the relaxed ebb and flow of the breath, or gently restrain the mind from following the thoughts that flicker across its surface. The end of all the methods is ultimately the same, a deeply restful emptiness or trance that strengthens the mind by freeing it from its accustomed turmoil. With guidance and practice, meditation can lead to breathtaking experiences of cosmic at-oneness and enlightenment, but the changes in the beginning are typically gentle and subtle. As you begin meditating, you'll find that it improves your concentration. Gradually, you become centered within yourself, so that you no longer react so strongly to outside stresses. When someone cuts you off on the highway, you can avoid or shorten that hair-trigger surge of frustrated anger and its corresponding rise in blood pressure. The calmness also leaves you better prepared to avoid danger from other people's foolish actions. I know of no other single activity that by itself can produce such a great improvement in the quality of life. In 1980, psychologist Albert Villoldo of San Francisco State College showed that subjects trained in meditation were able to stop bleeding immediately after a blood test merely by focusing their minds on the vein after the needle was removed. This is easy to do, and I suggest that each of you try it the next time you have a blood sample drawn. Visualization and hypnosis. Anthropologist Claude Levi-Strauss has noted that much of folk medicine throughout the world is based on psychological manipulation of the sick organ by means of an extremely vivid image brought into the mind while the patient is in a deep trance. Carl and Stephanie Simonton adopted similar techniques learned from Silva Mind Control after learning that users of biofeedback often were able to communicate more effectively with their bodies by means of an image than by directly trying to influence a certain organ or function. One woman, for example, learned to control a dangerous irregularity in her heartbeat by picturing a little girl swinging rhythmically to and fro on a playground swing. In Beyond Biofeedback, Elmer and Elise Green of the Menninger Clinic described their experience after being called in to help a man deal with the pain of a large pelvic cancer. They hypnotized him and asked him to find the room in his brain that had the valves controlling the blood supply to his body, and to turn off the valve that controlled the blood flow to his tumor. He did, and the tumor shrank to 1/4 its original size. His pain went away, and he was discharged from the hospital instead of dying. Subsequently, when the man died because of a complication of later surgery, doctors found that his diffuse metastatic disease had disappeared and his tumor, which had been the size of a grapefruit, was down to the size of a golf ball.